Guys, how's it going? So it is time for another MRE / ration review here in front of us today. Really excited about this one. This is a Ukrainian military 24-hour ration, and this thing right here is just packed full of calories. And what I've heard is some really good, tasty food. So I'm just out in front of the gear shed today in the shade. And we're going to be breaking this bad boy down throughout the course of the next 24 hours and consuming it that way. So I already just slit the top of this packaging to have these in order. I'll show you guys the three individual packets that you get. No clue about how to pronunciate these things. I put them in a translator. This is breakfast. And then these two right here in the translator, they both come out as dinner. So these are our dinner options. It feels like this one is more of your supper, and this would be like what you would have for lunch, depending on if you like a heavier or lighter. But yeah, that's what you get. That's all three of them. That's how they look in the main package itself. Now, unlike I know the previous rations that the Ukrainian military used was a lot of canned food, and with this, they have switched to like the latest and greatest in retort pouch technology. So, you know, it's really easy to heat these up. I got a German military mess tin I've not had a chance to break in yet. I got that when I got that Dutch Army bivvy off of Go Army UK. So, going to be using that, but let's put these away and see what is in our breakfast pouch. Yeah, I mean, me that looks like Chinnahook or Chinnahawk, but I guarantee that's not how that's pronounced. But without this, I don't see any like real tear notches or anything, so we'll just crack it open, dump it out, and have a gander. Now, I'm somebody, I don't really like a super heavy breakfast. I know a lot of people are still in the category that's the most important meal of the day, but that right there is a good-sized hunk of food. And I will whip out the translator here in a second, see what that says. But looking at our small accoutrements, I'm sure this is a type of creamer and or sugar. Same with this cream, or this might be the coffee. Let's see, that's our moist towelette. This is our crackers. So yeah, this is our coffee and maybe sugar. We're just going to pour that in our hot water once we get that going. And then this is your spoon, fairly flimsy spoon. I know that's the biggest complaint they get out of that. And I'm not sure if this is the only one in the ration, so we got to make sure we hold on to it. So yeah, throwing that up on the translator, it come up as canned meat, vegetables, beans, peas, all that good old stuff. So sounds like a very, very hearty breakfast option. Get our stove set up here on the table. And going back there. And she is lit. Yeah, so I'll let that get hot enough for our coffee first. I just want to see, yeah, that is our moist towel. I just want to make sure. I couldn't quite tell by how it felt. And yeah, so the white one right here, the thinner one, is for sure our coffee mix. And this one looks like it's just, yeah, it's just straight up sugar. So I am not going to be going with that one. Not to waste it, but I definitely don't like just straight up sugar in my coffee without having any creamer in it. But black is more than manageable. And that should be plenty hot for our coffee, because it's not a very large amount that one of the packets makes. Now that we've done that, the water is just a short bit away from boiling, so we can just ease this down in there. And we'll let that boil for, I'd say, a good 7 to 10 minutes. So we'll look and have a sip of the coffee. Not the worst instant coffee I've ever had, but it is on the weaker side. And I mean, we only put probably about 5 ounces of water in there. So, I mean, with the sugar, if that's your type of thing, for me, anytime I mix coffee and just straight up plain sugar, it tastes like styrofoam to me, so that's why I don't go for it. But yeah, not bad. Would definitely be a welcome pick-me-up nonetheless. And then we'll go ahead and crack open our crackers or biscuits or crisps or whatever they prefer for these things to be called. Okay, they sound harder than they are. We'll just set those aside over there. And that rolling bowl is definitely what we're looking for. And I'll empty the retort pouch into one of these. That way you guys can see it a lot better. But you can, just crack these open right out of the retort pouch and eat it that way. And then it's a lot easier to carry around your trash with you. And you ain't got to do dishes. I'm going to have to finish this coffee before that's done so it don't get cold. Alright, that should be plenty of time. So we'll get our stove turned off. Since this cup in particular, I think, has a slightly larger volume to it, we'll go with it. That stuff right there is definitely steaming hot. And these are for sure some tough retort pouches. All of that should fit in there, hopefully. Definitely hardy. I'm going to go ahead and stick to these crackers in here along the side so that they can soften up. That right there is what we are working with, and that looks to me like a very nice hearty breakfast that I'd be happy to eat any day, but especially on a cold winter day. After the important part, which is going to be our taste test. Oh wow, food from a bag's never tastes so fresh. See one of these, get a scoop of some on this cracker here. Now we've softened up the crackers a decent bit. This right here immediately gives me, it tastes very similar to like corned beef hash. And I'm assuming that's kind of what this is with some other vegetables and stuff mixed into it. But it looks like it has a pretty decent fat content, which is what you want. Because you have over 4,000 calories per 24-hour ration. Plenty of calorie fuel there to keep you going. Now, when it tastes like this, you can't, I mean, there's really no complaints. You guys know that I've made corned beef hash in a good handful of my videos. It's like one of my favorite go-to canned meals to take out in the woods with me. So something like this, if this was just 3 packets of this for breakfast, lunch, and supper, I could do that no problem, at least for a day or two. Guys, that was a extremely tasty breakfast. So I am going to go clean this up, and I will get back with y'all whenever we have one of our lunch/dinner menu options. Okay, so it has been just over 5 hours since we had breakfast. I did have to change shirts because I spilled something all over myself. But we are going to be reaching for the larger of the next main dinner option, as it says. So we'll see what we got cooking for us in here. We do have another spoon. This one's in decent shape, but I still got my other one. As far as little accoutrements, I know that this is some type of jam or jelly. It feels like a jam. It feels a bit thicker. We'll translate that in a second if it'll pick up the text. Here we got ourselves a nice black tea, another packet of sugar. In this case, I will be putting sugar in the tea. Oh, I just tore it. There's our napkin, wet towelette. Then this should be pepper, I believe. There was actually salt in our breakfast this morning. There was not a pack of pepper in it. It fell through the cracks right here, but I mean, I wouldn't have needed it anyways. We have this kind of hard toasted bread, which we'll be mixing that up in one of our mains for sure. Then yeah, there's a packet of salt. So these typically have a high sodium content to them, but if you're really out there humping it and sweating, you need to take in kind of as much salt reasonably as you can to keep things replenished. So let me translate these real quick, and I'll get back to you. Translation's up on the screen, but this one right here is essentially a buckwheat in meat broth, and this is a meat and vegetables. This right here feels a good bit thicker. This is for sure more of a soup, and it feels, I'm hoping that the volume of these will fit in the dishes that I have with the bread and stuff in it, because you'll definitely want to combine these two. I can, without like tasting them, I can already tell you that much, but I'm going to throw these back in some boiling water and get back to you. We will go ahead and get our tea prepped. I think this is not a tea bag. It feels like it's probably just powder. Or no, do we have a tea bag? Sweet, we do. Go ahead. This feels like a lot of sugar for a single tea bag. So it's feel like, yeah, it was about half of that. Try to get. Seems pretty solid, because I mean, I do prefer a stronger tea, and I'll just drop that in there. Oh, that is hot. Okay, yeah, the soup is definitely. And I was looking, I think this cup is actually has the most volume to it, because this other one can sit down inside of it and there's wiggle room. This just has a bit of a lip to it. So we're going to put our soup in this one, because the soup seems like it might just have a slightly, there just might be more to it. Cooperating a bit easier than the breakfast. That is cleared out very easily. That's about a full cup's worth right there. Situated. It also emptied out just fine. Definitely heartier than our soup option there. But yeah, before I go adding any bread or crackers, I want to give these a bit of a taste test. I gotta be honest, man, it smells fantastic. Got soup broth. Very, very good. So, I'm gonna go ahead and open up this. I think this is a type of like rye bread. Go ahead and get some pieces of that in there. The one that's intact, we'll leave it right there beside for this other dish. Nice big chunks of meat and potato in that. Just like with the breakfast option, it's got a lot of those really good oils and fats in it that you're going to be needing. And talk about a meal, I mean, I feel like this alone, I mean, it's just a 24-hour ration, but like, this right here, these two as a standalone would be great. These crackers are the same as the ones that we had at breakfast. See how the tea turned out. Not bad. But, I mean, to have a decent strength to the tea, you really can't. I mean, I added maybe 4 to 5 ounces of water. The sugar dissolved fine, but 2 tea bags would be more ideal in my opinion, so you'd have more of your beverage to go along with the meal. Yeah, if you could buy these canned meal options at the grocery store, I'd keep them around all the time. Yep, that's where that belongs. In a mess kit like this, it just pairs perfectly with it too. Because you got your pot there to boil your retort pouches in, and then you can just eat out of the retort pouches. But, you know, if you didn't have the water to spare, you could just pour the contents into one of these like pan dishes and then heat it up that way. This is just for sure a hefty amount of hearty food. And the other thing I should mention is this is seasoned very well. We'll see which one of these is the pepper. It's this one right here. You don't get a lot, but I'm going to add the pepper to the soup mixture. So I feel like that's the one thing that, but they could both use some black pepper to be honest, and you could split it between them, but well guys, I'm going to finish eating this and I'll get back with y'all whenever it is time for the final meal. Alrighty guys, well that last meal held me over for quite a while, so it is now dark outside and time to give the final meal of the night a go. And I had one thing that just slipped. I didn't even really need it, but I still have the pack of jam and 2 of the crackers from the last one, so at the very least we'll give that a try. But we have another spoon. This one is slightly damaged. Yet another pack of the crackers. Some more of the crisp bread. This looks like it's not as dark, so it's probably just a different grain. Got another black tea. Right here, this right here feels like some other type of jam. Towelette, sugar packet. Got some salt. I believe that is it. And then our main dish is stewed potatoes with vegetables and pork. So get the water on and get this a-boiling. While we're waiting, this is that first jam. I'm gonna try to do this without getting 50 different insects in it, but oh. I did have this in my pocket, so it's runnier than it was to begin with. That's not too shabby, but with this particular cracker and the texture and consistency it has, I think you're just better off squirting this jam in your mouth. Water in there on sugar and tea. That should be nice and warmed up. This is a real authentic experience because we're going to get some of these flying insects probably dive bombing our meal. But we have got ourselves another nice full serving. I don't want to dump that juice out. But one thing that is going to go down immediately is this red right here. That stuff is very crisp out of the packet. Not something you're going to want to really munch on without having it get a chance to soak up some moisture beforehand. And this doesn't have as much moisture content as that soup. Like this is a little bit hardier, a little bit thicker. Give that a second to soak up some of the juices. So let's give her a go. And another banger. It is so good. That pork has like a sweet and savory flavor to it. Just grab that. I mean, I don't know what to tell you other than this whole ration has been delicious. Okay, I was looking at the packaging, and I think this is actually, I believe, is honey. If I'd have known that, I would have put it in my tea, but put some of this on the cracker. It's definitely honey. Oh, and it's very runny. Yeah, it just tastes like honey. Those little sticks of honey and things like that seem like more of things that you can just go and buy like over the counter at a store, as opposed to like the meals out of these retort pouches. But yeah, guys, that is everything I'm going to take and just finish enjoying this. But I hope you guys like the ration and the MRE reviews, especially like this is just out by the gear shed as opposed to a hike, but where this is a full-on 24-hour ration, and I want to do a dedicated video with it. I think this was the best way to go about doing it. Definitely check out MREmountain.com. That's like the best place to get these foreign rations and U.S. rations most of the time. And yeah, as always, make sure you hit the thumbs up button, subscribe if you've not already, share the channel and videos with your friends, family, anybody that enjoys go outdoor activities and gear. I'll try to link to all the gear that I've used, even though it's been pretty minimal this time, down in the video description. And please hit me up in the comment section, thoughts, opinions, questions, rations you'd like to see in the future. Check out my past ration videos and just all my videos for that matter. And with all that said, guys, till the next one, adios.